Hello, everyone. Good evening. How are we all doing today? Thank you so much for having me here. I'm so excited to be having this live series today, and I'm just being hopeful that the network will be stable enough and also the light because I've started hearing some wind, the sound of wind, and I'm hoping that it doesn't ruin the live show today. Is there anybody watching? Hello, everyone. Welcome to my live. I am really excited to have you all. And we'll be having a talk show today. And the talk is about relationship and marriage. And we will be having a guest on the show who is going to be sharing her own experience with us. And we'll be learning from her as well. I will be anticipating my guest shortly. But before then, we're going to introduce her, just give you a brief um, talk about her, mm, introducing her and all of that. That's basically what I'm going to do before we'll get to have our. Oh my goodness. So the lights just went off. Okay, so the light just went off right now. That is how our country, Nigeria, is right now, no. And I'm just hoping that it can just turn in the gen. But as we await that, we're going to continue with our life. Oh my goodness, Nepa, why now? Why are you falling my hand? Thank you so much, guys, for having me. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for taking out your time to be here. I really do appreciate. I really hope that my guests will be able to make it to the live today. I'm really being hopeful. Okay, so um, I'm trying to see if I can get something that I could use for my life. Okay, I think I have something. Okay, okay, let's do this way. Not working. Gosh. So guys, just give us a little bit of time. I'm sure the lights will be up very soon. Let's just give it a bit of time. My apologies. This is what we face. Uh, this is this is one of the things we face here in Nigeria. You can't tell. NEPA people can just fumble and just take up the light, and you would be stranded. Probably, maybe if it is even a business that you're trying to, a transaction you're trying to do, and then the NEPA people just fumble and just carry the light. Imagine. But anyways, um we are we are deviating from the talk that we'll be having today. So please, guys, just have mercy on me and just stay tuned, okay? I'm sure the light will be up very soon. Just give me a minute. I don't want to continue with the introduction without the light being up. So, guys, please just have mercy on me, okay? Please have mercy. Have mercy on me, please. Um, Yay! Our light is up. So, yes, our light is finally up. Thank God. Thank God for the person that invented generators, because I mean, what would we have done if we had no generators? Can you imagine? What would we have done? So, today we'll be having our guest speaker by name Sandra Adeleye Bello, aka the Different Woman, as she is fondly called. Um, she is a woman of many parts. She is a professional communication specialist that is passionate about gender advocacy and mind wellness. Sandra is a writer, a content developer and producer, no code app developer, social entrepreneur. She is the founder and creative director of the Different Woman Network and a series of other social enterprises. Her personal YouTube channel, The Different Woman TV, focuses on projecting empowering women's story, personal development tips, and lifestyle hacks. As a filmmaker, she has created two short web series and meant on mental and gender advocacy. Her short film "Ice Cream" was screened at the 2020 African Smartphone International Film Festival and was selected to be screened at the 2021 NGO International Film Festival. Sandra is open to communicating with more positive-minded and growth-oriented women by various social media platforms. Sandra is married to her lovely husband, and she has a daughter, a very beautiful one at that. And she is an amazing woman that I would like to have on my show. And yes, she's one of, yeah, we actually have her. We have her, I think. Let's see. I think we have her. Right, let's see if I can. Let's see. I thought she's here. Yes, we have her. I want to believe we have her here. I think I have my guest here with me. I want to believe so. Sandra, are you here? Yay! Hello. Can you hear me? Can you check if you're mute? I can't hear you. Can you hear me? My apologies. The network, I think it's the network. I don't really know. Um, she went up again. Let me quickly do that. Yes,
Yes,
I can hear you
I can
clearly.
hear you clearly. Okay. Alright. I think I'll be muting myself when I'm not speaking.
We have some
We
echoes
have
in the
some echoes
background.
in the background. Can you mute me from your end? Can you mute me and only unmute me when I need to
Okay.
speak? Okay.
Okay. It's fine now. Yeah. Can you hear me? Okay. All right. So thank you so much for having me. Thank you for coming on our live today. I'm so excited to have you here. Is it raining over there?
There? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it
Is
is
your YouTube
raining.
on?
I think we would just need to shut each other's mic. When you're speaking, my mic will be off. When I'm speaking, your mic will be off.
Okay.
So that we don't have this interchange of sound.
Okay. All right. So thank you so much for joining our live show today. I'm super excited, and I know the network might be funny at times, and then it's raining as well. I thought you wouldn't be able to make it, but I'm so happy that you're here. Thank you very much for honoring our invite. Okay, so um I am so grateful. I know you said you're not a relationship coach, but you're going to be sharing with us from your experience, and I'm super excited to hear from you. So I'm just going to be asking some various questions, and I'm sure that the audience would want to know much more about you. Okay, so let's just dive in before this network issue will start now. Okay, so
Okay,
I
so
have some questions
I have
here.
some questions here.
So we'll just go right into it. Um, how many years have you been married? Or let's begin with you introducing yourself first of all, so we can get to know you much better before we go into the details.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. It's good to be here today. Thank you so much for inviting me to your show, your live stream. I'm so happy that I get to be here. Hey, a disclosure, I am not a relationship expert. I am not going to be saying anything on any authority as a relationship expert. When it comes to the media, yes, I can say things authoritatively, right? But this relationship thing, nah, especially marriage, right? Okay, but yeah. My name is Sandra Adeyeye Bello. I'm popularly known as the Different Woman. The reason I got the name The Different Woman is because I have a status quo problem. Whenever you ask me or you say that things should be like this is how it has been done, I'll ask you why. Why does it have to be like that? We are human beings, we're not trees. We need to change. We need to grow. We need to expand. We need to be curious. So basically that's why I'm called a different woman. It's not because I'm perfect, flawless, or whatever. It's just because I like to think outside the box. I like to think differently. I like to see things from a different perspective. And that makes me a good media practitioner. So as a media practitioner, I studied mass communication and theater arts in the university, and I've gone on to become certified in different forms as a communication specialist. I make films, I create content, especially around my passion, which is my, women empowerment and mind wellness. So women empowerment, basically everything that concerns the woman. I'm a gender advocate, and also mind wellness, basically anything that has to do with mental health, because there is no health without mental health. So that's me in a nutshell. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you so much for that beautiful introduction. I remember you mentioned, okay, I think it's on your live or on the chat. You mentioned you're married and you have a beautiful daughter. You've been married for about 4 years, right? Am I correct? Okay. So, yeah. So, how have marriage been so far? How has it been?
Um, Marriage has been blissful, has been tumultuous, has been interesting, has been spicy, has been so marriage basically has been all sides of the coin, the two sides of the coin, right? So um mainly what you see on social media is the glam. I call them a fleece of reality. It's our happy moments or one part of our story. It's not even up to the part of the story. It's just like those inch of the story, right? But marriage is all encompassing, the good, the bad, the ugly, and that's what makes marriage unique. It's not just a relationship, it's a partnership, it's a responsibility. So basically that's marriage so far. 4 years, huh? And still counting. Well, it's not rice, it's not beans, but hey, we are doing it. We're doing it.
Interesting. Thank you so much for sharing. Okay, so you mentioned you've been married for about 4 years, and I would like to know, how did you meet your husband? How was it like when you first met him? And even before meeting him, how was relationship like? Dating? How long did you take before you got married to your husband? Just share it with us. Let's get to learn. We are here for it.
Here for it. I have been looking forward to the day I would do a story around my marriage. I don't know if that day is today, right? Like how I met my husband mainly. I've been planning this content for my YouTube channel for so long. I've not gotten around to doing it. It's a drama on its own, but let me just try to find the curves in there and probably just tell you a bit of the story. Maybe one of these days I would be gingered enough to do the full gist on my channel. Okay, so I came into Abuja in 2014, 2015. I'm a storyteller, I'm a media practitioner, like I told you. So when I came in, I was working with a theater here in Abuja. And we were staging plays, creating content, basically mainly live performances with while doing some film and TV productions as well. I've worked with AIT, NTA, and some other private, companies down here around the media as well. But most of the time, the one that actually caught my attention is the fact that my husband is also in my industry, right? But he is a poet. Myself, I'm a writer, I'm an actor, I'm a producer. So most of the time, you'd see me, if I'm not acting, you don't see me on stage. I am mostly behind as the writer or producer or something behind, right? But my husband is usually on stage. He's the people you call for entertainment. You know how spoken word artists are, right? So he's a spoken word poet. So he's invited to most of these events to perform live. The funny thing is, he caught the interest of someone else. While I was here in Abuja, see, I came to Abuja to hustle. I was not interested in relationship. Talk more of marriage. Hey, this guy sneaked in. He snuck into my radar because I was not interested. I was not ready for that whole drama. I focused on my focus, which is my work, and I was doing it to the best of my abilities. And funny enough, I think he hit it off with someone in my theater at that time. And I don't know, the gist was all over the place. I thought they were a thing, right? So for me, I cheer for anybody. I don't have to be, in your space. I don't have to like what you like, to cheer for you. But it just happened that somehow while he was with that person, she came close to me. She got on one of the productions I was doing at that time. So we got talking and we got friendly. And turns out he also has passion for gender advocacy, which is weird because I think the time you were on my show, I shouted when you said your husband was helping around the house, right? That's something that actually gets to me because as a gender advocate, I meet more of women that need help with, their relationship and so on. And one of the things I do, because I'm a script writer, most of these stories, I use the stories to educate men and also to empower women to see that, hey, you can own your life, own your story, and so on. So it was weird to me at that time when a man said that, hey, he's championing the cause of women. I was like, bro, like seriously, calm down. Like that was the first thing that he used to get my attention. Right. He always does his poetry and he will just go like, everybody mind their business, we go our way and so on. But somehow, I don't know what happened to their relationship. The relationship kind of crashed or whatever. And it was in my radar. I invited him to a production I was doing that, hey, so I'm having this production around women empowerment and so on. So would you mind coming to perform and so on? And he took the job. And that's how we started getting, intimate, like not intimate, like he became my friend in that space. Yes, he became my friend. So, it's different when you are talking with women about women empowerment. And then when you are talking to a man about women empowerment and he can get it, he can understand. It's a different vibe altogether. So we spent most times plotting, like I already started my brand, the Different Woman brand. So we were plotting together. We were talking about my plans, future plans, like everything. I didn't know that this guy was busy scoping his way in, like, hey, this is the kind of woman I want. I was busy gisting, like, hey, guy, let's do this. This is what I like. I think this will be beneficial. I think this is the result. I think this. We're busy planning. Then one day, I had an issue with the relationship I was in at that time. And I called him up. I thought about everybody in this world to call. And I decided to call this person. Hey, come and pick me from this place. And that's how we got talking. Like a weird relationship that ended. And then this guy just comes and picks me up and is like, Sandra, don't you think what you've been looking for in Sokoto is here in your Sokoto? I am like, excuse you? The whole thing, it didn't sink immediately. So, I started getting straightforward, like, see, I'm not asking for boyfriend and girlfriend. I'm of age. Do you understand what I'm saying? I want to be with you. I want us to get married. And I'm like, guy, chill. You know me. Marriage is not on my radar. And don't play me. See, we're friends. Don't play me like that. And he's like, girl, can you calm down? I'm not playing you. This. Then the talk started getting serious. Like he was not giving up. The talk started becoming serious. I tried to avoid this guy. I actually tried to avoid him. I stayed away. I stopped. I blocked him on all social media. I still have our social media chat where he was busy toasting me. Today, if he makes this, and I used to show him that chat, I'll be like, see, when you were toasting me, when you were telling me that, see, I'm the girl of your dreams, and I blocked him on all this. Don't call me, don't text me, I don't want to talk to you. Then he started sending me messages on the different woman chats. He was like, this is the only place I know I can get you. So this. He started sending me chat. Then I unblocked him. Hi. Then this is 4 years down the line. I have this baby girl, and we are still battling it. So that's the story. I hope it's not so boring.
It's so beautiful to listen to you talk. Really interesting. Thank you so much for sharing. Your husband was so into you. Like, he was so determined. And I really, really enjoyed the story. Interesting. Thank you so much for sharing. And it's been 4 years down the line. Like, how would you say that your expectation has been met when you got married up till now?
Please explain expectation in what sense?
So, um, yeah, usually before getting into marriage, most ladies usually go into marriage with an expectation. Sometimes it might be unrealistic expectation based on what we have been seeing on social media or the movies and all of that. So we always had this, me for one, I always had this expectation of my man. Things like, okay, we're supposed to, after getting married, we're supposed to be doing things together. I didn't want to be left alone at home, but to do things together, common things together, like washing of clothes, doing the cooking, the lunch, everything pertaining to the home, we're supposed to do it together. So, did you have any form of expectation, and were they met?
Okay. Honestly, I did not have any serious expectations for this relationship. Trust me. Actually, while he was talking, I think one of the challenges that I had in the early stage of my marriage was the fact that I still believed it was unreal. Like I was always expecting the worst, right? So I think that is something that actually um inflicted my marriage at some point. Like we had to walk through it like therapy. So I'm going to explain that. Um, so initially, when I shared the story of how we met and how we got to this point, I had a traumatic childhood. I watched my mother suffer. My own father died early, so my mom had to remarry. So her husband at that time was terrible. I watched her suffer domestic violence for the formative years of my life. So, being a media practitioner, this has been my picture, because the truth is, it wasn't just her. It wasn't just her. It feels like out of I can't even see the ones that we will say we're working. The marriage that I would now say we're working at that time, the woman has endured. Maybe they are now old, right? So the man has flexed and whatever, and then he comes back, and you now see them doing rubbing body together and so on. That was the image of whatever I had about marriage, right? So there was no mirror of a good marriage that I could point to and say, hey, this. Any marriage that you saw at all that was good, the woman has endured. The woman has taken all of the crap, and is just there because, hey, society says she must be married to be respected, So basically, one of the reasons I'm called a different woman is because I wanted something different. Oh, you want to respect me because I am married? No. You respect me because I am a woman, because there are a lot of things. I am more than being a wife to someone, right? I am a woman. I have more to give from myself. So that brand, that whole picture, I didn't want to be caged by the concept of what we knew as marriage, or I knew as marriage. So I fought the idea of marriage. Anyone that came to me, it's not like I didn't have relationships. Man, I had relationships, right? But when it came to marriage, the moment the guy mentions marriage, I disappear, I evaporate, I run away. Like that was how, my whole that was the issue I had with the concept of marriage. So when this man came into my life and started talking about marriage, in my mind, trust me, and I think I mentioned it sometime to him during an altercation. I said, I was giving you 2 years. I gave you 2 years, and then we will be done. I gave you 2 years, and we will be man. No, if we're talking about patience in human form, my husband is it. I'm not saying he's perfect. See, this marriage is not perfect too, but there is the person that has scon, and there is the person that knows how to count the scon. Do you understand? So the days he's up, I'm down. The days I'm down, he's up. It's like that. But basically, for me, the expectations were not there. My expectation was, I give you 2 years, you'll be bored, we'll be done. But this man, he kept to his word. He stayed stuck. He said, you're the woman for me. We're going to do this life together. And every single day till now, we still have that, when I'm like, hey, no, I can't do this. No. And then he'll just be looking at me, or he just walk away or something, Then we have the conversation again. And I'll be like, hey, it's because I was angry now. You get. So basically for me, it was not necessarily about expectations. It was just, we were friends first, right? This person knew me, had the same passion as me. There was something that blended us more than before we even started talking marriage. So today, even when we have issues, that thing, we still have that connection of, hey, I'm angry at you, but I want to share this idea with you. Can you talk? As in, you be carrying face on the person, but you be like, see, can you talk? I'm thinking about something. Can we talk about this thing? And then you'll be like, okay, I think you should do it like this. Then we go back to quarreling when we are done. So we still have that thing that brings us together, even when it is like busting out there and everything. So basically, I didn't have any expectations. I don't even know how I find myself in this marriage. Like when you still talk about marriage, I'm like, marriage? No, I want to date my person. I don't want that tag of marriage. Oh, and you're a married woman, you should not be like this. Oh, you're a married woman, you should not. Dear, my husband does the chores with me in the house. It almost costs wahala when, in-laws can interfere a lot. But man, when I heard that you said your husband was supporting you, I'm like, yeah, girl, yes, that is it. We need such empowerment. We need such enlightenment. That's it for me. That's what I signed up for, right? So the good and the bad days, they complement themselves. It's not going to be rosy. It's not going to be perfect. But hey, when you look at the person, you're doing life with, can you say, you get why? You get why? That's basically it for me.
Wow, interesting. Thank you so much for sharing. One thing I picked out from your talk this evening is when you mentioned you from your childhood you had some issues, you faced some issues with your parents and all of that. One thing I picked out from there is that actually affected you of getting married. I don't know if you're okay with sharing how you're able to come out from that. Being in, I would call it insecurity if I'm right. Right. Okay. Not insecurity. Trauma. Trauma. Right. Okay. So I would like you to share with us how were you able to come out from it, and also how were you able to let's put it this way. Um, could you please tell us about your strengths in marriage as a wife, and then also your weaknesses? So I'm thinking I should put them together since they are working line in line.
Okay, thank you for that brilliant question. So everything, this question is actually the backdrop of who I am today. So one of the things that I have learned over time is to embrace my scars. And that has been a campaign that I have ran on various social media platforms via my organization, the Different Woman Network. So I already stated why I'm called a different woman, but I didn't state how I came about picking the name or getting acquainted or falling in love with a different woman. So initially, I was on a downward spiral in my life. I was at a time in my life where I can't tell you how I survived, but I think God just had, I'll give it to the divine. I'll give it to the divine here, that God just picked me, chose me, and said, hey, I know your pain. I know your struggles. I'm just going to be there for you. And yes, I'm spiritual. I'm not religious. So pardon me, anyone who is watching right now and thinking, hey, is she going, biblical and so on? No. But I want you to understand that for everything that happens to us, there is a God. There is a God, and He cares. He cares a whole lot. Those tears you cry at night, those pain that you cannot even put in words, He knows. So at a point in my life, I was on self-destruct. You know how someone will just be walking and be waiting for somebody to just kill you? Like, God, because it's a sin for me to just kill myself, let somebody just help me. That was where I was. So when I tell people my story, I know what I'm talking about. When I meet women today and they are talking about some things, I'll just be laughing, because have you been down that road before? Have you been down that road where there is nothing, you don't think there is anything to live for? I was down that road. And then somehow the healing came from where I was able to start to share. Actually, early in my life, I'd already started sharing my stories, because I discovered that I could write and hide my words, my pain in writing. So I've shared this story before on one other podcast that I did, or several podcasts like that. I think I just remembered two now that come to mind. So initially, because I was in this situation of my mom suffering domestic violence, there is the primary survivor and there is the secondary survivor. So the primary survivor, that's the primary, I don't want to call her victim, so when I use survivor, it's the person that is going through it. So the primary person was my mom, and then I am the secondary because I am her daughter. So I took the overflow of whatever came to her. When they are done with her, I get almost equal beating or almost equal whatever that was dished to her. And most of the times I nursed my mom's injuries, like her flesh. Do you know how someone's flesh will peel off? And a child will be nursing your injuries and pressing you. And then when I'm trying to talk to her, like I hear her screams till tomorrow. It's taken me a lot. It's taken me a lot to not jerk up at night, sometimes with her screams in my head. I still have those screams in my head. And then whenever I asked her why she stayed in this relationship, she would say, where do I go to? Who will love a +2 now? Where do I start from? With what? There were a lot of questions. And like I said on a podcast I had yesterday, she gave me a picture of the woman I never want to be. A helpless and a hopeless woman. I never wanted to be that woman. So from that tender age, I started to form a picture of, it's like a defense where you put up these walls that nobody crosses here. Like, you can come this far, but you're not going to cross here. So I had those walls up, and I was walking my own path until I discovered, I think the first time, and honestly, I did not know that what I was going through was therapy. But now, as a practitioner, I'm a counselor as well. I'm a mental health counselor, lay counselor. So I now understand what I was going through at that time. So I got into university to study theater arts, and I started to write. So one of the things that actually kept me way back was the fact that I could write my stories. I started to write early, way back. I wrote poetry, I wrote plays, I wrote prose. And guess what? In those stories, I created women that were going through what I was going through. But guess what? They were heroes. Hey, they had superpowers. They could do this, do that, change their world. So I created those stories. And I didn't know that those were keeping me sane. I didn't know that those things were keeping me sane until I got into school, where I started to write more. So I got a job in Radio Nigeria before I got into school self. So I started writing more stories like that. I had a lot of female characters. I think there's a research today that says that Hollywood has more male speaking characters. But for me, they should come and employ me because I have more female speaking characters. More females. Like, my stories are packed with females doing different things, succeeding in life in different areas, because we need representation. We need people that show us that it is possible. Remember when I shared my story, I said that I didn't have any role models for marriage. I didn't have any representation, anybody to look up to. I didn't have anything to
Network, don't do this to us. Please. It's such an interesting conversation, and I don't want this network to act this way. Please. Thank you so much for joining us. I really, really appreciate your participation, and I hope that you're learning one or two things out from this program today. While she's trying to sort out the issue with her network, I think we should go ahead. Okay. So I'm sure she'll be back with us just in a minute. Um, the network is really terrible. Please have mercy, Lord. I'm sure she'll be back. Um, it's really an interesting topic, really. The conversation which she's taking, this concerning domestic violence. Really, I had a friend. I don't know if I will call her a friend per se. Yeah, I'll say, okay, we have her back. Let me just add that on. Okay, thank you very much. The network was bad.
Okay. Can you hear me now? Okay. Sorry about that. The network. I had to switch now quickly. Okay, so before the network interrupted, I was talking about representation, how representation matters today. And yeah, I was sharing that initially I didn't see any representation of the kind of marriage I would have loved while growing up. So that also impeded on my belief system for marriage. And then going into school as a writer, I started to write and create more female characters that helped more women to find their representation, to find and see that, hey, you can do, be, and have differently from what you've been handed down by life or the society. You know, the popular saying that when life gives you lemons, create lemonades and so on. But a lot of us don't know how to do it. So I started to use my writing to create stories of empowering stories. That's what I'll call them, empowering stories, projecting women in a different light from what we originally would know, right? So that's what my writing did for me. Then I got into school and I saw other forms of expression, from staging a play. You know, you create characters and then they come to life. Then I think in my final year, I did a play, and guess what? My supervisor was a professor, and he gave that play to PhD students to stage. That was the first time. I think I was not even in school. I had already defended my project and left, but they called me back that the PhD students were going to stage it, and I came back. Girl, that was the first time I had heard my plays on radio. I had seen people do skits of it before, right? But the way the PhD students staged that play, I cried. I saw my characters on stage. They came to life as if they came into my head and picked all the pain and they put it in there. And I was like, I was watching my characters, like I was not the one that wrote them. I was watching my characters on stage and I was crying because all of my pain went into that project. You can imagine when a professor gives your play to someone like PhD to stage, right? It was so emotional. And even for me as the writer, I felt it. That was the first time I purged. That was the first time I let go of a certain amount of pain. And today I understand that there are different types of therapy. There is talk therapy. There is art therapy. There is group therapy, the different kinds of therapy currently. And of course, the counseling and so on. I didn't know that I was undergoing art therapy. I didn't know. Unofficial, not prompted, nothing at all. I didn't know at all. But I purged. Remember, therapy is about allowing or teaching you to express. The moment the help seeker begins to express their emotions, then healing can happen. That was the first time I began to heal, that I opened up. That was the first time. Hard girl, hard girl, hard girl. But man, my play brought me to the ground. Like that was the first time. And I knew something was off and I wanted something different, although I did not know how to go about it. Then I encountered, I started to research more into therapy. How do I start to like people? So I got into different relationships. You know, the way they say a lot of people in our societies are broken, right? And the more broken people we have, they're breaking more people. So I got into a lot of relationships, hoping to fill that void, but I didn't know how. I kept on trying and failing. It was just like here and there. And I just gave up on the whole idea of marriage or relationships at all. Then I focused on my work. I sunk myself into work. I started doing my work. Man, I can tell you that I am flawless with the media. This is something I don't need to think about. Like, wake me up any day. I will write for you. I would sing for you. I am good with it. I sunk myself into it and I thought I was good with it. But you know what? While I was doing it, it's also helping me to heal because I kept on creating. I kept on doing. That is art for you. So I kept on doing this, doing that. Then I had an interview with a therapist. And that was when I was done with the interview, I went and met her and I said, we need to talk. I just need someone to share with. I just need someone. And then she introduced me to a program, and that's how I started digging into more. I'm back, right? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Is this? Can you hear me? Am I back? Oh, okay. All right. So that's how I discovered therapy. That's how I discovered that expression causes healing. Then I created my business social media page where I wanted to continue to share my story. So I started to share my story. Guess what? When I share my story, more women will send me DM. Like, Hey, this is like my story. Hey, do you know what I'm going through? Like, I wanted to heal. So I was sharing my story as a form of expression. But more women started to send me their own stories, and I discovered that, whoa, the amount of women in our society going through is you don't want to even think about it. And I didn't want that. I didn't want to throw pity parties. I wanted empowerment. I wanted healing. So if I kept like engaging this kind of stories, I would still go back to where I'm coming from. I've come this far. I was just telling myself, hey, you've come this far. You can't allow this thing to sink you back there again. So I started something called the WEMPower Project, and we started to talk about financial literacy, financial empowerment, and so on. And that's how the Different Woman brand took off. So in November of 2018, I registered the Different Woman Network, where we do multimedia productions, events coordination, and so on. Mainly, my focus is working with women. So it's been a while. It's been a journey to where I am today. But I will tell you something. My trauma has formed this woman that I am today. I am thankful for that, because today, they say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So today I can relate to a lot of stories that women that I serve today are going through. I can help them. I can guide them. I might not feel their full scenario, but I can understand the level. When you tell me, hey, Sandra, this is how I feel, I have felt it. So I can tell you that, yes, okay, I understand you, So that is something that I am grateful for the experience that I have had. And it's still a process, because yes, I don't just click delete and all of the traumas and everything goes. But the beautiful thing about it is mental wellness does not tell you that you will delete all your past. It teaches you how to cope with it. It teaches you how to grow from it. So that's where I am at right now, working on me every single day, because yeah, I'm a continuous project and I'm loving this new me. So thank you so much. I hope I answered your question. Oh, yes, you asked about my strength as a wife. Okay, so I told you I don't like tags, right? That's why I'm called a different woman. I don't like tags. So basically, as a baby girl, as a beautiful woman, yeah, my strength is bringing all of me to the table. I love accountability. I love acts of service. So yes, these things that I like, I put me in my husband's shoes and say, hey, if you don't like this, do you think this other person will like it? Why do something that, do unto others how you want them to do unto you, and so on. So basically, it is just thinking about the other person. Ask yourself, but that does not mean that you limit you or you shrink you. I made that mistake earlier when I felt unreal, like the marriage was unreal, like someone would love me. Oh, so someone can love you like this. I shrunk. That is a story for another day. I'm saving it up. We're going to share that on my YouTube channel. But yeah, that is a story for another day. There is just a lot. But the truth is, your partner, or I feel, this is my opinion, it can be contested, but I feel like your partner deserves your A game. Your partner deserves your A game. Your partner is not doing you a favor by being with you or marrying you or, living with you. Your partner is there because they are your partner. So in your worst, in your good, in your everything, they deserve to have your A. Don't hurt your feeling. Oh, because I don't want to offend this person, then I shrink. I hide my voice. Oh, I don't want to cause argument. Oh, because of this or that. No. I hold my partner accountable. Hey, you said you would do this. You didn't do this. You said you would do this. Did you do this? And so on. And that is what I do to myself. That's what I bring to the table, because, hey, if we have to get somewhere, we have a vision of where we are going, right? So if we don't start to work on that journey today, if we keep procrastinating, if we keep pushing it, I told you is the patient one, right? That patience also extends to his character. Like, I am the let's do this thing. I'll fire you up, And he is the, okay, yeah, I get it. Can we look at this thing again? That kind of thing. So yeah, I think we complement rain and sunshine together. Bam. All right, so thank you. I told you I'm not a relationship expert, right?
So, thank you very much. Thank you so much for sharing with us. It's just been an enlightenment. Thank you so much. I've just been enjoying this conversation and sharing your own opinion about marriage and your own experience on marriage and your life. Thank you so much. I would also like to know, yeah, she's back. Um, I don't know why this network is just dealing with us like this, eh? Why is the network like this? Why is the network treating us this way? Why is the network treating us this way? Yeah, thank you for coming back. Okay, so I was saying, thank you so much for sharing with us. I really appreciate. I'm really grateful. It's just been an interesting conversation with you. I would like to know, although people have different opinion about this, but I would like to know about your own opinion. Get your own opinion about it. What's your opinion about having relatives stay with couples? What's your opinion about that?
Um, my opinion is in two forms. My opinion is in two forms. I'm going to be okay. So there is nothing wrong with visitations, right? So that's where I'm going to start this response from. There is nothing wrong with visitations, but of course we know that there are visitations that are extended. So we need to be cautious around it, because the truth is, even when you stay with your siblings, you will quarrel. That's the truth. Even your siblings, the ones that you love, that love you and everything, you will quarrel. So, but when we start to have, when two people, man and woman, come together, these are different parties. And no matter how loving and caring, it is always best to try to limit the interaction, the level of, or the to stretch their visitation, to limit it. Yes, please. And then the second part of my response will be that I don't support it for newlyweds. Yes, especially those people that want to marry and take to their family house. Please don't do it. Secondly, when you just get married, there are a lot of reasons why you should not have relatives come and stay that first at least 1 and 1.5 years, right? So that you can really get to know each other. Because the truth is, when you are doing boyfriend and girlfriend, it is different. When you are dating and going to all those beautiful restaurants, having dinner here and there, it is different. When you get married, shit gets real. Pardon my Spanish, right? That's when you know that you need to save. That's when you know that you want to build a house together. That's when you know that, hey, the cost of cement is this, this, this. You don't just go shopping every day the way you used to do. That's when you know that things are now real. So you need to plan that 1 year. When you now have children, when you start having children that you need help and stuff, at least for those few times, if you cannot, and this is a cannot in bold, capital letter, underlined, if you cannot, the reason I'm saying cannot is because COVID has showed us that we can do a lot for ourselves, by ourselves. COVID came and we realized that we can do a lot. We can do without a lot of things. Yeah, so when I'm saying this cannot, is because I am capitalizing it and saying, let's just imagine that for whatever reason, you cannot do without that help that your relatives will give you. Please calculate the level of your tolerance. Join it with your partner's own. You people should minus do a lot of calculations, because first of all, they will be coming around. Where are they going to be staying? What's the ration of food you guys have? These are some of the things that will cause problems, right? Even when we don't want to look at it. How often do you guys walk outside the house or in the house? How often do you go out as a family? What kind of your love language, in short, will even cause some kind of quarrel, right? So just try as much as possible to limit the visitation that early time of marriage. By the time you and your partner have gotten to, understand each other to a point, then yeah, you can start to extend the visitation, but of course, still keep your boundaries, because boundaries are important. And yes, takers don't have boundaries. Givers need to have one. So that's what I'm going to say about that issue of should we or should we not. It is left to you at the end of the day. If you want wahala, no problem. But yeah, these are my 2 penny thoughts.
Wow.
Wow.
Interesting. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Okay, so I really want to go ahead. Well, I'm looking at the time and all of that. I have a couple of questions I still want to ask, but I think I'll just ask these 2 questions and then two questions of yeah. So we're just going to ask 2 more questions while we are done.
I was thinking of a part two.
Oh, okay, all right, that's fine. Okay, I think we'll just end it here then. Would you want us to just end it here and then do part 2?
You're the host. What do you think?
Okay, let's just ask 1 more or 2 more questions and then we are done for the day. Okay, so what's your take on sex? How many times are you supposed to have sex? Do you ever get tired? Do you ever get tired of it?
I like that this question came now when my husband is not around, so that he will not come and say, the different woman is casting the family. Okay. So seriously, this is a very serious issue. It's a very serious topic for us to, like, we can have a full session on this one, because sex is beyond the physical. Sex is beyond the physical. There is so much to sex. It's psychological and so many other things in between. Even health-wise, it is, there are so many benefits and so many, how do you put it now? Like, you want to cook soup, so many ingredients that go into it, right, to make that soup good. So there is so much that goes into this particular subject when it concerns marriage. But I'm going to say there is no timetable for having sex. Please, anytime at all you can have sex, please have sex. It is important for your health benefits as a woman and a man. Yes, I know that a lot of women don't understand this one. I will shout it to you as a woman. Please, madam, have sex. Have sex. Please, it is important to you. Don't think it is just a man's thing. Don't think it is only for men. For your own self, for your own health benefit. Do you know you look younger when you have sex? You get like, you reduce your aging process by, like, see, I can go on. Like, this particular subject, I'm passionate about it and I'm trying so hard, because this is one of the things I talk to women about as well. So maybe we would have another session on this, but really it is important for a woman, women in marriages, to actually consider themselves worthy of sex. See, there is so much that goes into it, and it's important that you talk about it. We talk about it. Please have sex. It's not just for the man. Then I can understand a lot of hormonal stuff that go also around. I understand a lot of tiredness, a lot of, I can understand that. But there should be no timetable for these things. Sex would also improve your communication. Let me tell you something. Some days we are so mad at ourselves that we'll just be like, we want to sleep off without sex. But do you know, when you have sex, you now start to talk about, but you offended me today. Oh. That grudge that you would have carried on for maybe another 1 week or 3 days or whatever, after sex, do you know you can actually talk about it if it's someone that actually is in the marriage with you? Not someone that will just say, open your leg, I do, and go and fall asleep and start snoring. The kind of person that if you marry your person, that when you finish, you guys will not start, You still lie down there on the person's chest and start to say, you're a very naughty boy. You know, I didn't like what you did before. You know, you offended me like this. So that thing you said, you think he was just, you know, you start to talk, then he was like, baby girl, sorry, and he tap your ass, you know, that kind of thing. Your life would change. It is important because the truth is we all have happy hormones. I think the scientists call them endorphins, or be endowaiting. They have there's happy hormones, and there are a lot of things that can trigger your happy hormones, right? But sex is one of them that, for me, I would always tell you, I think I used to say it before, I don't know how to go to the gym, but do you know how much calories you actually lose when you have good sex? I'm talking about sex, all these baby fat, all these things that we're talking about, you know, when you have good sex, there is a lot that actually the benefits are so much. So please, I think I will just stop here because I can continue talking about it. But I think there shouldn't be a timetable for sex. There shouldn't be a calendar for sex. But if and I can understand you as a woman when you say that I don't feel like it with my husband. There is so much that goes into that word alone. I don't feel like it. There is so much. It is loaded, and I can understand you perfectly. But I want you to also think about you for once. Because a lot of women do this and think they are doing it for the men, or they are trying to suffer the man or whatever. Madam, I know you are angry, but have that good sex and sleep. Don't give yourself headache. Sleep. Sleep is therapeutic. Sleep is healthy for you. When you have good sex and sleep well, your life will change. Your life will never be the same. See, I can go on and on, but if you want private sessions, please chat me up. There's so much to unburden, but I just want you to know that the sex is not just for the man. It's also beneficial to you as a woman. So even if you're angry, don't deprive yourself of what can help you health-wise and every other way around.
That was loaded. That was really loaded. Thank you so much. I will really appreciate to have you to talk on this particular topic on sex. I myself need that. If not for anything but for myself. Ah, goodness. Thank you so much for sharing once again. Finally, I would like to also ask, maybe you just give us a brief advice for those who are getting into marriage or in a relationship, or those already in marriage and probably even facing one domestic violence or the other, even though we are not actually talking pertaining to domestic violence, but we have actually spoken about that much on this conversation, and I think it will be wise we give an advice on that. You share your own advice on that, and yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Like I said, disclaimer, I am not a relationship expert. I am going to just share from a woman's perspective, a woman who has been there, done that, and yeah, living my best life right now by God's grace. So the first question you asked was about my advice to people considering marriage right now or whatever, trying to get in a serious relationship, and especially something that leads to marriage, or you're in marriage newly. So I would say, as a woman, please don't hide your voice. It is very important. I know why I'm emphasizing this, because a lot of women like to try to please. Oh, my in-laws, they need to like me. My husband, I don't want quarrel, and so on and so forth. Do you know the biggest mistake you'll be doing for yourself and your children? I'm saying children now because women are the ones that raise men. A lot of us, when I was doing a series on my Instagram, I talked about how we are all complaining about the men that we are married to, or one thing or the other, and so on. But I said, who raised them? Who brought them forth? You know, they had mothers, they had sisters. These responsibilities are on us. Yes, it should not be completely on us, but hey, the men that we have in our society don't know better. So we need to start to correct. We need to start to tell them that, hey, this thing that has been working before is no longer working. The women that you're having today, you should protect them. You should respect them. These are ways to have I think this is me again. Is this me? Okay, I'm back. Can you hear me? Okay. Okay. So I was talking about the series that I started where I started to call women out. Um, we want a change. We cannot do it alone, but we need to get the men involved. Start to speak up. When you start to speak up, you will do yourself, your children more good than harm. You will teach your daughters to own their voices, to also speak up. Because the truth is, we teach people how to treat us by how we treat ourselves. So the moment you start to stuff your voice, I'm telling you, some years down the line, you would regret why you did not speak up, why you didn't say that, hey, when he stepped on your toes, it offended you. Now, I'm not saying, hey, every time something happens, you go to war, right? But communication, there are different forms of communication. Why did you match me? Or, dude, you just stepped on my toes. There are two different things, and I've said the same thing. One would cause the person to, bah, 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 you know, and another one will cause the person to say, oh, sorry, I didn't know that. So, telling you to speak up is not saying fight, go to war. It's telling you to not hide how you feel. Own it, speak it, say it from your heart, from all the love that you have. Tell your man. The truth is, most of them hide how they feel. I'm not speaking for any man right now because trust me, there are still a lot of shitty men out there. Pardon my Spanish, but the truth is, a lot of the men that choose you actually want to do good by you. That is the first thing we need to know. So please, if he has chosen to be with you, then you owe him that whatever it is to speak up, to teach him. Yes, I know. I'm not saying baby him. I'm not saying, please hear me. There's a difference between kindergarten and university, right? What I'm saying, to teach him how to love you right. He has done love in different forms. He has gone out with different girls. He has seen different women. But you are different. You know how you want your own love to be. So it is left to you to teach him how to do right by you. So that's why I say own your voice. Then the second question you asked is about domestic violence. The only thing I would say, I know that there are a lot of different violence, emotional and physical, right? The only ones we really talk about in our society is when it gets physical. But before it even gets to the physical, there is emotional. There's the part where you already feel trapped and whatever and whatever and whatever. Girl, the first part is to own your voice and get out as soon as you can. I'm not going to preach peace in this one or on this one. If you married a narcissist, if you marry someone or you're in a relationship with anyone that doesn't value you, that puts you down, that feels okay to treat you like trash, girl, get out. You're not a tree, so you shouldn't stay stuck. You don't deserve that. You deserve more in life. You can be so much more. You deserve to be happy. And don't let anyone treat you like trash and tell you that that's all you're good for. Or don't feel grateful because, hey, he's with me. Oh, who else will love me? Girl, a lot of people will love you, but you need to start loving you first. I'm sorry I get very passionate about these things. But hey, this is the purest truth, the way you can get it. And this is from all the love in my heart to all the women out there who might watch this, who might get to hear this afterwards. But you need to start to choose you and treat you right so that everyone around you will adjust and start to treat you right. Thank you so much for having me tonight.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. I'm really grateful for having you be on my channel. Like, it's just been an honor. Thank you so much. I'm grateful. Thank you for bringing all these loads of impact to our lives. I myself, for one, I learned a lot. Thank you so much. I'm grateful. Thank you. God bless you. And I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry we were unable to go ahead with this video, and based on the light issues and then the rain, uh I felt we would be unable to film this video, but I'm really grateful you were able to join our live today. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness, my baby is awake. Thank you so much. All right.
Thank you too.
Say
Hi, baby.
hello. Say hello. Thank you. Say thank you to Auntie. Thank you so much once again. And I'm looking forward to having you again on our topic we're going to be having on sex and communication. These two are very, very important, and I'm really looking forward to that. Definitely going to chat you up on how that's going to. Oh my goodness, this lady. Yay! All right. It's been an honor having you here. I'm really grateful. God bless you, Ma. And my regards to your family. Okay? All right. Bye. Say bye. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining on our live today. I'm really grateful. Thank you so much for joining our live today. I'm really grateful. It's been an honor. It's been an impactful one, and I must say that I learned a lot. And if you say that you didn't learn anything from this video, please go move. Please start over again. I mean, watch this video again, and I'm sure you're going to learn something. Share to your family. Do not forget to share this video, like, and subscribe. And my baby here is saying bye, goodbye. Mwah. All right, see you guys in my next video, my next live. On the 7th of May, we'll be having a relationship coach come over here to share her own experience with us. And I believe that you guys will learn so much from it. Okay? See you guys. Mwah. Bye.